All righty. Welcome to a new edition of Vegas Badboyz of podcasting. I am DJ Impact, and I got some of the bad boys here with me. And it's good to see both of you, Sin City Steve and Matt Michaels. Our very own Simon Street had to take the night off to take care of some personal business, but we're still going to hold the fort down tonight. So we want to welcome everyone for joining us. If you have access to the chat, Facebook Live right now, jump onto that. That's how we can be able to respond and even mention what you may say that we can work right into the show. So we thank you for that. This is our wrestling talk, and we had a lot of wrestling that went this past week, so we're going to get right into it. We'll start off with our favorite of favorites, Monday Night Raw. I don't know, guys. What did you think of the show? I know we're doing we take an hour each. So if you want to do that, go ahead and tell me what your
we'll fill you in on hour 3, kind of. Because I think hour 1 and 2 is just going to be very quick.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, let's get to it.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, the show got started. Mace and T-Bar versus Braun Strowman in a wonderful handicap match. That was interesting, to say the least. It went for about 4 minutes. I find it funny that, and as we'll see later on, that they have somewhat promoted Mace and T-Bar to, not just getting squashed by people, but long story short, the DQ finish happened. Drew McIntyre ran out for the save, and that set up a tag team match as they went to break. So 4 minutes in the handicap match segued into a 6-minute tag team match, and Mace and T-Bar actually get the win. And I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I was just like, what the actual fuck? Here we go. WWE booking at its finest. Let's go.
The best part of it, Steve, is the fact that their former leader, Mustafa Ali, is nowhere to be seen.
Right.
You know why? Because he's under 6 feet tall, and these guys are over 6 feet tall. So Vince was just like, fuck this. We're not going to do anything with Ali. He can just have fun on main event with Ricochet and shit.
Damn.
And
I thought when you guys said Ali, it was Muhammad Ali. I don't need this guy. Get him the fuck out of here.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
It's from then on. I mean, you had Miz, Morrison, Elias, Jackson Riker in the ring for Miz TV. My God.
You got it this week. I didn't have to worry about it this week.
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. All I know is that we were treated to an acoustic unplugged performance of Hey Hey Ho Ho. And
Unplugged.
I really wish that it would have been completely unplugged and muted.
Right.
But nonetheless, you had Damian Priest come out, and then you had the New Day come out, and I did find it interesting how they've segued Xavier Woods from playing a trombone to now playing other instruments, as was mentioned. And he came out with said guitar case this week, and it was full of tomatoes, and they threw rotten tomatoes at the four in the ring. They made a point of saying rotten tomatoes about 85 times.
Right.
So
they're rotten. Say fucking rotten. Say it. God damn it.
We know what's funny about that. It's got to be like, while you're doing commentary, it's just got to be just bugging you to hear that in your ear constantly while you're trying to perform your duties as a commentator. Hearing someone doing exactly what you just said, what was probably going on.
Foley
I would get in trouble because I would take my headphones off like this, like, okay, now let me call the match.
Foley is the one who said that the reason that he didn't last on commentary is he used to take his earpiece out, and that was the last straw. Vince said, okay, you're good. Just get out of here. You're gone.
Right.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that segued into, imagine this, a match between everyone out there involved. So New Day and Damian Priest pick up the win when, Woods, the man that brought the guitar case full of Rotten Tomatoes, scored the pin with, as Simon Miller from What Culture would say, the most devastating move in sports entertainment, the inside roll-up. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. New Day and Priest get the win. That match was about 17 minutes in length. And the commentary team was, when it was over, they were talking about V8. And I was just like, oh my God, here we go. It's going to be one of these nights. All through the first hour, it was just a train wreck. Last piece there in the first hour, Sonya Deville setting the stage for what was about to happen in hour 2.
Yeah, which was the Charlotte apology, which all my notes say is ZZZZZ. Holy fuck. Like, so someone comes back, you're one of your main superstars, you immediately put her in an angle where she gets suspended, only to have it lifted by Sonya Deville, who apparently now has equal amount of power on Raw and SmackDown. And, obviously is now trying to, they're setting her up as the heel commissioner type versus Pierce's face commissioner type, I guess. Was it this week that she did say something to Mandy, though, about Mandy being like just ridiculous or something like that, like choosing the company of people or something like that. It just was like, do you not think that, like, I don't know, at least 50% of your fan base realize that those two have been fucking and were in the same house when a burglar broke in that was stalking Sonya? So, that whatever. We got a nice backstage segment with Riddle and Randy. We have nothing in common, except we're both from Earth.
So I've been telling you from the beginning that I have not been enjoying this character that Riddle has been doing.
Do you get it now?
Now that RK Bro is being established, I now get it and like it. Okay. It took a minute because Solo, I'm like, what is going on? I hate it. It bothers me when I see him rolling around in this scooter. Get him off TV, and now, perfect. It took a minute, but I like where it's going now. Perfect.
I mean, all I could do was put a crying emoji next to RK Bro because it fucking works. And especially because, like, the match, I'm not going to say nothing about the match. It was what it was, but the best part of the match is when Riddle gets down on his knees and Randy just kind of looks, peels out, and goes, not yet.
Right.
Soon. And then when he turns back and walks up the ramp, he has that smirk on his face, like, oh, maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
Entertaining shit. That's good.
It is.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Then we got another Garza backstage delivering flowers to Nia, which is seeming possibly a setup between Reggie and Garza, which actually could be an awesome fucking match.
Yeah.
Love Reggie's shirt with Nia and Shayna holding the tag belts. That was really cool. But again, Nia walking by and just has that wonderful line as she just smacks Mandy with those flowers. Put these in water, bitch. So that was bitch tally number 1 of this week. That was the first bitch in pro wrestling for the week.
Yep.
Right.
That was hour 2. There you go. That's all I fucking have to say on hour 2.
That's funny. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, hour 3 wasn't, too much. I watched a little bit of it myself, and I saw that they did a 3-on-3 match with the women, Asuka, Naomi, Lana, and he had Shayna, Nia, and Rhea. So he had that match, which, by the way, the team that won should have won. They dominant women. I mean, come on. I mean, I looked at that matchup going, okay, this should really go by real quick.
Well, yeah, except for they had to put in a motherfucking spot where you had a goddamn bucket of water thrown on Shayna. Right. So she has to wrestle the rest of the fucking match soaking wet. Right. Soaking fucking wet.
Yeah.
You have Nia doing the slip thing again, which seems to be, again, a wonderful, what would be great this week? Rotten Tomatoes and Nia slipping on water again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm beginning to believe when folks say that Raw, maybe even SmackDown, is written for one man. I'm really beginning to think that is true.
We're not just saying it. We're not just saying it, bro.
I guess not, because you can kind of see it when you watch some of this. You're going, oh my God, it has to be for him,
And by the way, I think this is a point I saw somewhere, which I do think is kind of interesting, and that is they took Rhea and made her a heel, but if they were in front of a live crowd right now, it would not fly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting her with the dominant, which, by the way, I like the idea that you had your tag champs and your women's champ together as a dominant faction, a dominant soaked in water, slipping on their ass faction. They took Rhea Ripley and knocked her down into the fucking comedy of the fucking this Mandy fucking shit, and yet Rhea Ripley still looked like a motherfucking kill-ass, badass fucking performer. And that is a sign of gold.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They also had a little Alexa Bliss. I think finally she's going to get in the ring, right? It's about time, right? That's about to happen from the way the swing conversation's looking. Finally, she's going to get in the ring.
Let's hope.
I mean, come on. I mean, we like the segment, but you got to do enough talking. Let's now let this demon.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. I hated this segment. It scared the shit out of me.
Hey.
Got me on a damn jump scare, man. Fuck that noise.
The jump scare got you? That's brilliant.
You know what?
I could see it coming though. Like I looking back at it, like I was stupid to not fucking assume that.
Yeah, I knew.
Okay,
that
dipshit, they're gonna give you a fucking jump scare.
Right.
Yeah. And GJ just said he knew it was coming, and he's
yeah.
the one who doesn't take horror films.
I know. The fuck.
But you know what?
Yeah.
What's interesting is she said that Sally is about to unleash her Sally Lily. It's the same fucking to me.
She gonna come hunt you if you don't get the name right.
Oh man.
You don't want that.
She ain't gonna be hunting me. She's gonna be dating me pretty soon.
Oh boy.
Knowing the dolls I've dated before. At least
another show.
Up. She's knitted. But the cool thing, if they're smart about it, I would actually have Lily causing trouble for the women before any type of matches even go down. Like weird, strange, evil shit starts happening to them, in the locker room, backstage, just random shit falling from the sky. If they, not Owen Hart, of course, but random shit falling from the sky. Oh man, I'm so fucking going to hell.
Yeah. I'm glad you know.
Yeah, of course. But it would be kind of interesting to see a different dimension than just straight up the the baddie wrestling, the stuff we've seen with the Fiend already. Do some really just weird out of the fucking box shit and try to get those scares there. I think that would be fucking cool.
Yeah. Well, pretty much to end it, we now have a 3-way title at the WrestleMania Backlash. So, I guess we'll have that, and we'll see if Bobby will be able to hold on to his belt, or is it going to be Drew or Braun? So, I guess we have another couple of weeks to see how that all turns out. But that is Raw.
At least we're not seeing Drew versus Lashley again. Got someone else in there, maybe? I don't know. Does that help?
They just put Braun in there to eat the pin.
Mm.
I mean, realistically. Well, I hope that's not the case, but I mean, whatever.
If they're gonna have anyone eat the pin, you'd put Nia in there.
Jesus.
That's right. Within the first 20 minutes, we got Owen Hart jokes. We got Nia Fat jokes. That's right.
You're on one hell of a roll tonight, Michaels, already.
Oh, man. All right. Well, look, let me jump over into Impact Wrestling, where pretty much the show was about two things. First off, who's going to be the number one contender to take on Kenny Omega whenever that match is to take place. Now, May 15th is going to be the pay-per-view Under Siege, where this 6-way number one contender match is going to actually happen. So everything starting from this past Thursday leading up to May 15th, they're actually having the contenders match. So this past Thursday, they had the very first match, which was Jake something versus Chris Bay. And yes, Chris Bay ended up winning that match. It was a good match, by the way. Very great match watching him to get down. Chris Bay won, so he's the very first one in that match. And now there's 5 others slot. So that was one of the big things, talking about that. The second part of that show was Kenny Omega needed to show up on the show because he was contractually obligated, now that he had won the title, to show up on Impact to have his celebration. He wasn't planning on showing up at all. Okay, so good thing Don was there, and Scott D'Amore said, yeah, you need to get your boy here, because if he's not here by the end of the show, Omega gets stripped of his title, Impact title. So
by the end of the show, what does he live 5 minutes away from the fucking arena?
Well, I tell you what, I don't know how he did it, Michaels, but Don was talking to Omega and say, look, jump on the jet. Okay, you can be here in a half an hour, use the jet. Okay, and we'll have someone get you here. And you know what? Amazingly, 4 minutes before the end of the show, Omega and the Good Brothers run out. Okay.
What a bizarre coincidence.
I know, right? So, I guess he won't get ripped.
Thank God Moxley and Kenny didn't have a car they could have drove into the jet before it took off to stop them from going in. Eddie and Mox drive. Oh, right. Man. Could you see that the jet blows up? Were they in it?
I know, right? Yeah. So anyway, that was pretty much Impact Wrestling. I got to tell you, so they did a segment, and it was, and it's so true. They did a segment with Moose, Stellan Scott, why are we going through this number one contender when I'm the guy right here that can take Kenny down? And I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's true. Because when you think of all the guys in Impact, okay, which of the guy is supposed to be to take Kenny down when Kenny loses that belt? What guy is supposed to be that one?
Apparently, it was supposed to be Rich Swann last week.
And I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I was so prepared for that. At the same time, hey, Rich beat Moose. He's beat several other wrestlers to become the Impact World title. So he's got a record to show that he could take that match on against Kenny. But who do they have now? So now you got Moose that's about to have this match, number one contender match he's going to have against James Storm, which I'm like, well, I guess James could be a fit, but Moose should be the guy, point blank, so it's, yeah.
Hey, listen, Cross has got the NXT title. Why not give Bay the Impact title? And let's, and then AEW, give Cage the AEW title.
There you
go. And let's just give all the fucking FSW champions the fucking titles, man. Because they're the most entertaining guys on TV right now.
Facts.
I can actually agree with that. I can agree with that. Oh, man. All right. Well, then, look, let's jump over. That's funny. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. Shant said, yeah, hey, look, Jacksonville to Nashville is a long way.
It's a fast jet.
Yeah, you got to use a real fast jet. All right, let's jump over to you want to do NXT? Just go down and get it over with, and then we'll jump over to AEW. Not to say NXT was bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, we don't have our guy to lead us into it. So let's talk about it. NXT. Anything that really stood out to you guys on that show? I'm still loving The Way. I think I'm going to get me a The Way t-shirt. I'm going to tell you that. I love everything that they just continue to do,
You can't beat it. You really can't. That match with Bronson, first of all, Austin did a good job hanging with Bronson. It's he's coming along, and even though he's playing a goofy character, what's really interesting is that he's getting the opportunity to further his in-ring skills, and he doesn't have the pressure on him of, well, you have to be this bar, right? So he gets to do these things, learn on the job, doing a great job, putting Johnny in a situation where Bronson wins. Johnny has to defend the title against him. The ongoing Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell story is just so awesome. Good.
Yeah,
that's the best thing on NXT.
Tell me, at what point where you were watching them two and weren't even watching the match anymore? It was just like, I forgot the match was going on because I'm watching, like, where's Indy going and where's Dexter going? And, you're following them. It was just funny. Yeah.
Until the point they need to get to, which was setting up the spot where, obviously Bronson then ends up doing that devastating. I mean, dude, once again, anytime you see that guy get up there and he's able to do that leap, what a fucking splash for a guy his size.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, Candice, boy, man, she really, did you guys feel that her character before The Way was so vanilla that it was hard to accept her as anything other than, she's a good technical wrestler. She does things, but she's not going anywhere. Now it's like, boy, man, it's like just by herself, just little things with her face, like to convey these thoughts and this deviousness, and just so good, man.
Without a doubt, she's definitely added a lot of depth to her character since the heel turn, and I think, dare I say, out of everyone in that faction, I think that she's actually shown the most progress as far as adding a new element to her character. Michaels, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Back before her heel turn, I didn't really think, too much of her character in NXT. Obviously, tracking her on the indies for years, I knew that she was an amazing athlete, an amazing storyteller in the ring. But the character wasn't really resonating with me in NXT. But since the heel turn, she's just, her trajectory is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, let's stick to women on that. The opener was Mercedes versus Dakota, which, is supposed to be a fucking brutal, hit job on Dakota. It was what it was. It was fine. But the Zendaya Tony Storm match, man, when you look at Zoe Stark, when Zoe walks out and you feel that presence,
yes,
it's not like you're looking at someone that they're trying to force down your fucking throat,
right?
Which is very interesting because it worked, and she looks, again, with all the work she's put into her training and her body, and her athletic skills, and to just walk out and you can look at any screenshot of or still photo of her with the cut off sleeves, you would think that she's like an arm wrestler. She just looks the fucking part.
Yeah.
And it was a great way to get a young talent over on Tony Storm,
right,
by simply distracting. We didn't have the usual shit of the full run in, and
right.
It was just simply by her presence, it threw off Tony Storm's game.
Yeah, I don't even think they played her music. Yeah, she just walked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said the music thing, because I'm going to get to something on that in the SmackDown thing. But You're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Just one quick point I want, and then I'm done with NXT. I just want to mention the Cameron Grimes video segment that he was in. Now, I haven't read, so I don't know what's going on. Who's the guy? And I'm gonna be shocked at the person who's in the back. Do y'all know who that is? Because I don't know.
Wait, you didn't?
Well,
it finished there, buddy.
Wait, say that again.
The person reading the newspaper?
Right.
It actually finished later on in the show.
Oh, I didn't get to that. Okay, I got to finish.
I don't know if I want to.
Well, don't tell me then. Don't tell me that.
What's your theory, though? We won't say anything, but what's your theory?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know who that possibly.
You're gonna like it.
Could be.
You're gonna like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please, anyone in the chat right now, do not spoil it for the guy.
Yeah, please don't spoil it. Now I can't look at the chats now because someone's going to spoil it. You tell them not to do it, they're going to do it. All right.
The one thing I definitely like what they're doing with Imperium and Killian having that kind of twist. Kind of being. You thought maybe he's going to go with them, and then you get him being with his partner with Drake. But what is possibly going to happen with Imperium? I mean, we just saw Alexander Wolf. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll leave Imperium at some point. This is interesting. I like that.
I could see that happening for sure. Yeah, I think they're stronger together as a faction, but I could see Wolf leaving and joining up with Dane. I don't know. I would just like to keep that group together, just because honestly, they've been amazing. And whether it's NXT UK, regular NXT, the gimmick and what they're doing just works. I've always been a fan of having, a shooter type stable, a, pure wrestling faction. I think that it just works, especially in the age of sports entertainment that we live in. So
it'd be interesting to see. Maybe they do part Alexander Wolf, but you find one of the younger talents, maybe someone in NXT UK, that kind of gets elevated to a position of being in that group.
Yeah, that could be too. I mean, it's really interesting what they could do. I mean, they're kind of they have no limits as far as what they could do and where they could take Imperium. So it's going to be fun.
And the main event was very good, very good,
without a doubt. Yeah, Legado del Fantasma, MSK, Kushida. I mean, we mentioned the names, and just by mentioning the names, that you're going to get solid in-ring work. And this match definitely delivered. There was a nice visual there at the end as well, with Legado del Fantasma, standing up over their opponents, with the championship belts and, all that kind of stuff. This episode of NXT, honestly, I thought that it kind of started off really slow and sluggish, but it definitely picked up the pace toward the end. And as the show went on, it got better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, great.
All right. So with that, let's jump over into AEW. What was some any highlights, Sin City, you want to go over?
Any highlights? Come on, man.
I'm sure there's maybe just one highlight.
I know you didn't watch the show Impact, but
I watched half. I watched about 45 minutes.
Impact, you got to phrase it differently to Steve. So, Steve, was there anything on the show you didn't like?
Shit. Wow. So you mentioned Brian Cage, Michaels, and obviously the show kicked off Adam Page versus Brian Cage. Mm-hmm. And the thing that really stood out to me was that they actually had Brian Cage go over.
Yeah.
They actually put him over clean in the middle of the ring. And the announcers, to their credit, they talked it up like this was Cage's biggest win in AEW. And I would have to agree. This is the biggest win that he's had since he's been on this brand and since he's been on the show. I genuinely hope that they keep him strong and have him to win a championship soon. I mean, it's easy to say that, but it really did him a huge disservice, him coming in, being the new hot thing, and just instantly losing right away, and then having his legs chopped out from underneath of him. So I just hope that he can find his way out of the mediocrity that he's in. He's just another guy right now, and I'm hoping that this win over Adam Page is going to be one that helps to catapult him to where he needs to be.
Definitely was a good match. I give it that to start off the show. I thought
definitely,
it was really good.
Definitely. Obviously, as far as if we're still talking in-ring stuff, Young Bucks and the Sydal brothers, where to begin? I think that this match actually did a disservice to the Young Bucks. They went 10 minutes with the Sydals, who no one in the world thought that either one of the Sydal guys would pick up the win on either one of the Young Bucks. No one thought that. So they wrestled for 10 minutes. They gave them 10 minutes. Now, a lot of people can say, oh, well, they're trying to make Matt and Mike Sydal look good. No, no, they're in there against the tag team champions, who should be the most dominant tag team in the whole fucking Fed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in there with two guys that the announcers, I mentioned that the announcers talked up how this was the biggest win for Brian Cage. The announcers were stumbling all over each other during this match. They were calling, the wrong Young Buck. They were calling the wrong Sydal brother. Dude.
Steve.
Inconsistency.
Steve, you can't blame JR because he was seeing 8 guys who looked the same in the ring. My God, there's some Nick Matt Seidel.
Nick and Matt Seidel. That's awesome. Obviously, after this match, it did bring out SCU. And I think that this was probably Frankie Kazarian's best promo that I've seen him cut.
Yeah.
Ever. So I shout outs to Kazarian on this. He really put it over, and he helped to build this match. Daniels, just put the icing on the cake. So obviously, if we're going to get this match at Double or Nothing, then I think that it's going to deliver. I don't see SCU picking up the win, though.
I just hope, I hope for his sake. I mean, I love Daniels so much. He's just one of my favorite people on this planet. I just hope he stays healthy in the match, doesn't get an injury. And I hope he doesn't bleed too much, because I got a feeling there's probably Frankie or him most likely are going to probably blade, which is fine. Just man, if this is going to be potentially kind of a little bit of a goodbye for now type of thing, at least have them go out on kind of a high note, and really make it, like you said, you put the Seidels against the Young Bucks. It should have been a 3-minute match, or 5 minutes tops, right? Because, but SCU, it should be, 12 minutes of really fucking some nice hard hitting action. And, like I said, possibly some kind of cut open, a little bit of color, and, given, because those guys make you think that they can win the titles. The Seidels made you think these guys are on TV. That's it.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, man. And obviously the stipulation being, of course, that if SCU loses the match, that they are not able to be a tag team any longer. So, Michaels, I think that this will be writing off one of them, either Daniels or Kazarian. Daniels for sure. And like what you were saying, I hope he stays, out of harm's way and doesn't go too overboard. But yeah, I think that this will be them writing off Daniels from TV, possibly permanently. So
yeah, it's time. Honestly, he's earned it. He's earned the time to now just be talent relations, head up that department, enjoy what you're doing, and not have to worry about, as he progresses, and gets more, into his 50s further, he doesn't have to worry about potentially, having some kind of injury that's catastrophic to his eventual retirement. He's, I'm hoping, knock on wood, that at 65 or 70 he gets the chance to just, him and his wife, start taking vacations and living it up a little bit and just kind of enjoying the time. But he's so damn passionate about the business. It really is. It's in his blood. And I know it's the hardest fucking thing to step away from something that you just absolutely love. So hopefully this just would be a filler for him, where he gets to be around the boys, gets to be in a very good position of relationships with those guys, because he's a great bridge between Khan and, the all elite guys, who own the company essentially. Chris is one of the most respected guys in the history of the business. So
yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Obviously, the Penta El Cerro Miedo against Orange Cassidy match. This match, okay, I said NXT got started off sluggish, but by the end it was great. that is exactly how I feel about this match.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the match, I was just, they were doing the Cero Miedo and the taunting, putting the hands in the pockets. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, go do something already.
Yeah.
And
Right.
by the time that things finally got underway, the action was solid. By the end of this match, I thought both guys brought it. They put on a hell of a show. I just really wish that the first couple of minutes of this match weren't spent, doing each other's taunts and, building that. Just a personal thing. But
Steve, do you think, and anyone in the chat room can, chime in on this as well. Are we at the point where Orange Cassidy, we've had a year and a half of the slacker bit. He actually really is a good wrestler.
Right.
And is it time to kind of figure out how that evolution happens to get him from the complete slacker to more so a guy that we want to see be the world champion?
Even if it doesn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, even if it doesn't happen all at once, even if there's a little bit of a, something different he does that you go, oh, I haven't seen that one before. And then the next time you see him, now he adds something else. And almost to a point that by the time you go through 4 or 5 months, you now see sort of this transformation from the total slacker to now this new package. So I would say, yeah, just not all at once, not next week. Now he goes into full blown, wrestler who can do all the moves. Right. But I would like to see, that transition of doing something different at every match, and to the point where he's done all of it and now he could go full blown. But I do agree with what you're saying. I would like to see that happen.
Without a doubt, man. I think that progression and that shift has to happen at some point. Even still, just for this gimmick to, in my opinion, reach its apex, I would love to see Orange Cassidy win either he's not going to win the world title with this particular gimmick, but maybe even the TNT title. I just want to see him one time come out to the ring with a championship belt and just have him dragging the thing on the ground like he literally doesn't care. Just once. Just give me that one time. That's all I want to see.
Steve, I have solved your problem, buddy. I have solved your problem. You have him win the FTW title.
Oh, Jesus.
And just drag that fucking thing, because that would actually make a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, he could win a fake title. I'd be down.
I
guess.
Jazz might have a problem with that, but
although, you know what would be funny is if they gave him something like that where it is a fake title, that now it's actually pristine to him. He's polishing it up, and that's the only thing he cares about. The slacker now becomes someone who has a little class to him.
And then he begins to obsess over it.
Hey, maybe he goes to Impact and beats Kenny Omega for the championship, goes to Impact and becomes their champion.
Yeah. I mean, they have had worse.
Well, in the chat room, Chris said that I think Jericho did a great job of bringing out more of Orange talent during their feud, but it's a shame that AEW hasn't figured out yet how to expand upon it and continue with it.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
yeah.
Completely agreed. And now the best thing on AEW, and I'm talking about the parlay between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. This promo, man, this promo was solid. I think you had some guys in there. I mentioned earlier that Frankie Kazarian cut the best promo I've ever seen. You had Dax and Cash both cutting the best promo that either one of them have ever cut. You had Sean Spears cutting probably one of the best promos that he's ever cut.
And the bleach blonde isn't seeping into his head now. so you can get it out a little clearer.
Probably.
Yeah, bleach do that to you.
Oh yeah. Impact. There have to be photos, bro. You have to have done it at some point.
Stop it. Carry on.
And again, MJF and Jericho, they just, dude, these guys are just putting on promo class every fucking week. And they are cutting the promos that everybody in this business should aspire to cut. That's how it is. And I think that this, when they announced that this was going to be what takes place this week as the go home show before Blood and Guts, I didn't really know what to think, because obviously they found a way to use the Inner Circle in a litany of different segments, different talking segments, without putting them into matches. Since AEW's been around, we've talked about it with some criticism, but I think that this over-delivered, in my opinion. I think that everybody that got on the mic and spoke did a hell of a job, and it got me sufficiently stoked for next week and for Blood and Guts. As if I wasn't anyway, but they just, with the kind of a build that they've had to it, I was wondering how well they were gonna, put this thing over and build it up. But they've definitely risen to the occasion for sure. So,
yeah.
Elsewhere, you had Chris Statlander defeating Penelope Ford. That's fine. They're building her up, obviously, for a women's championship match at some point, I'm sure. Chris Statlander picked up the win in 9 minutes. The Nightmare Factory, or the Nightmare Family against the Factory, right there. I'm stumbling over the name, so that should just tell you how confusing this shit is. Dear God. 6-minute match, felt like it was 12. This type of shit should be going on AEW Dark. I realize what they're trying to do is they're trying to give some shine and build some new stars. So that's why I'm not completely shit canning it. But realistically, at the end of the day, let's put it this way: next week can't come soon enough so that hopefully this shit ends. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm not excited for it. And the only way that I am excited for it is that this clusterfuck will finally be over. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Elsewhere though, we did get Miro beating the fucking dog shit out of Kip Sabian finally. So that was awesome. Slammed his arm in the door and then went full on serial killer after the fact and embraced him and said that he forgives Kip. So, okay. Crazy Miro. I'm down for it. Let's go. And lastly, the main event, Darby Allin against 10. Again, Darby Allin continues to deliver in the main event slot whenever they call upon him to anchor the show. And this is the third time in 3 weeks where Darby Allin has headlined the entire show. And in all 3 weeks, in my view, he's definitely delivered. It definitely takes 2 to tango, and 10 brought it. He's not just a number in the Dark Order. I think that this guy, with proper exposure, he definitely cut a great promo. Again, that was the theme of AEW this week, was promos. With proper promo and build and execution, he could definitely develop into something. It just depends on if they choose to go that route with him. Obviously, after the match, you had the clusterfuck with Ethan Page getting in there. Also, Scorpio Sky, Lance Archer, your typical, what has become typical AEW clusterfuck to end the show.
Dude,
so
no, just go with what it really is. And that is the TNT final moments on a wrestling program.
Yes.
Since the late 90s.
Yeah. It's what TNT wants, bro.
It's the same. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like someone is watching this going, oh, you know what we need? We need just a bunch of people coming out at the end. So then people are like excited about this, and they don't realize that that's not fucking exciting.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Awful.
And Shant actually in the chat says, bar none, this is Jericho's best promo in his entire career yet. I don't know if I want to be as objective with that and say that this one was the best one I've ever seen, but over the last few weeks, man, he's definitely stepped his game up. And as much as everybody has loved heel Chris Jericho promos, I think that Chris is an amazing babyface promo, and he just continues to show it week in and week out, especially since the Inner Circle has, completely changed over to being 100% babyface.
Yeah.
So
awesome. All right. Well, we'll jump over to ROH. I know you guys probably have not been watching it, but do yourself a favor. Find a way to watch this programming. It's only 1 hour. When you add the commercials, now you're only talking maybe 45 minutes. If you add the promos that they have before the matches, now you're maybe only talking about a half an hour of just, really good matches you get to watch. But I'm just saying that it's really good wrestling and great storylines that go along with it. And they have 3 matches they did this past week. Flamita and Bandito had a match, and that was just awesome. These guys were part of a team with Ray Ores at one point, and Flamita just, I think I was at the 19th anniversary, just, didn't want to have anything to do with the group anymore. So they're still kind of battling this whole, sort of brothers things with Flamita and Bandito. And so they had this match, which was just great. It was, they did this one move. I'm horrible when it comes to learning the wrestling moves names, but what would you call the one, let's just say where someone jumps onto they jump onto their shoulder and then they flip them over, that move. Okay.
Oh, that's the
it's not a 450,
Speedy
right?
Gonzalez burrito block. No, Speedy Gonzalez block burrito.
Are you talking like the Poison Rana, like the Hurricane Rana, except like they do it from behind and they like flip somebody backwards?
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much they jump onto their shoulder, and then they flip them over. So okay, that's probably okay. Like an inverted right, like an inverted Frankensteiner. Yeah. Now the reason why I
Poison Rana. Yeah.
The reason why I mention that is because that's exactly what happened when Bandito did it. So they were at, what are they on the security thing that blocks the fans that from ringside. Whatever that thing is, I guess the security blockade, they actually did that move on top of that.
Oh, nice.
Which was crazy, right? I'm looking at that like, that is not going to go right. But, they was able to do that move, and it was just exciting. Like, if fans were there, that would have been like the pop right there. But overall, just great. And then how it ended, because Flamita now is the heel. Let me start. Well, yeah. So how it ended, first, Bandito had Flamita on his shoulder. He does a spin and hits Tom. Tom, our great referee that we love, hits Tom. Tom's over there acting injured. All right, and by that time,
you mean
Todd?
Todd?
Yeah, I got it right. I got it. As soon as you started talking, I was like, oh,
Tom.
As soon as you start, when you jumped in, I was like, oh shit, it's Todd. Yeah. I do. I'm a big Todd fan, but
so big of a fan that you forgot his name.
Got his name. Yeah. I know. That's
you're trying to get the MySpace guy back, right?
That's the one friend that didn't leave me though. That's probably what it is. Tom was always around. All right. So anyway, Todd's knocked out, and then Flamita, of course, he does the move where he hits him below the belt. So that pretty much ends that particular match. Then he takes his foot and put it on Bandito's face for the 3 count, which I'm like, damn, that's just put his foot on his face and just, damn, I mean, very heel move there. That match was just awesome. As if you guys could get a chance to see that, just go back. I mean, it was just great all the way around. And then there was a match, the Beer City Bruiser and Nixon versus Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. That was a good match as well. I won't go deep into that, but that was actually worth discussing. The ROH World Television Championship was on the line. Tony Deppen and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Another one of those great matches. Now, let me just ask both of you, because I don't think you all watched the show. Who do you think, just on that name, who you think probably won that? Who would you expect to win that? Tony Deppen, Tracy Williams.
Because you're asking the question, I'm gonna say Deppen.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah. Tony.
Yeah,
Tony.
Like who the fuck is Tony Deppen?
Okay. All right. I listen. I don't know Tony Deppen in terms of, you know, what other organization he's been in outside of just where he's at ROH. But since he's been in ROH, you know, that's when I've known him, and I've seen him now for 3 matches, and he's good. And he actually, you know, you're right, he actually beat Tracy Williams, which was crazy because Tracy was having this guy beat all throughout the ring. You know, Hot Sauce is the real deal, but Tony he came with it as well, and he took that title. He is the new World Television champion. So another one of those great matches, guys. If you just get a chance to watch ROH, I can't stress it enough. Watch it, entertaining. That Flamita Bandito match, that was exciting.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump over though.
That's really that's who Tony Deppen is.
That's who Tony Deppen is.
Well, I mean, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Tony Deppen, he's done some stuff in CZW, Game Changer Wrestling, Beyond. So I mean, he's been around for a while. Yeah. But I believe he just started working for ROH maybe 2000-ish or 2020-ish.
Right. Around that time, yeah.
All I know is on his Twitter, he does say, and this is directed to me personally, apparently, for everyone that told me I'd never get anywhere, fuck off. To all the people that always put their neck out for me to help me and get in front of new eyes, I'm going to continue to bust my ass because y'all always believed in me. Oh, still not signed. The belt is mine now.
Fuck that. He probably just became my new favorite ROH wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. The vanilla just got wiped right off.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, hey, good stuff, man. Like I say, I can't pump it up enough, but if you guys get a chance to watch it, please do. We'll move right over into SmackDown, though. We really want to talk about SmackDown. And who's better to do that than our very own Matt Michaels? I gave you the introduction of the world, man, so go ahead.
Let's yes, he did. And I'm going to start off by saying that Bailey laughing is fucking gold. And if you can just go out there and just laugh as your promo to rebuttal what Bianca's saying, it fucking was beautiful. And just for the pure, it gives Bianca just this moment of like, oh yeah, bitch. And just wham, man. And by the way, using the word bitch, AEW had a number of them in there. This week has really opened my eyes to the use of the word in pro wrestling. So we get into this, the match, the 3-on-3 tag. And what I have to say is Montez Ford's first he jumps over the ropes, to the outside, which he got so much fucking air on that. And that's no spring, man. He's just going up and over.
Right.
But Jesus Christ, the frog splash. When Cole said he was almost out of the screen.
No shit.
It was fucking mind-boggling how much air he got out of that. So my only take from that 6-man tag was that Montez Ford, end this fucking tag team. Get rid of the Street Profits, Private Party, whatever they are, and Jesus. Go ahead and give Montez Ford a fucking, give him a fucking run. In fact, please get rid of Apollo and let Montez Ford become your IC champion and wrestle Big E 50 times, because that to me would be a little more entertaining than fucking seeing those two again. Shayna is an MV fucking P. Man, you're asking her to go out there and she busts her ass and does whatever she needs to fucking do to make it fucking believable. Monday, she gets water tossed all over her. This match, it's just like, you're seeing fucking Tamina and Natty, like, I don't know. I don't know why we insist on pushing that tag team. So, Shayna, just sticking with it, man. Okay. Next week we get Throwback Edition for SmackDown.
If we don't get fisting next week, if we don't get fists next week, then there's a problem.
Well, what's really interesting is later on they showed a promo. FS1 is doing Throwback Week. So, really? There might be a lot of fisting going on the Fox networks next week.
Hey, man. Okay. Just fuck it. Change the name of the network next week. Fist Sports Network. There you go.
There you go. Done. It's done.
Looking at this here, Mysterios. Anyone really give a shit about Mysterios anymore?
It's a father and son tag team. Why would you have a problem with that? A family.
Okay. So the way Dominic talked about Ray, I was thinking heel setup.
Oh,
I think we might see Dominic turn on him.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be totally fine with that.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, at this point.
I mean, I don't see it right now, but I can see how we can do it.
They're gonna probably go. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably put the tag titles on them. Just for the history, father and son tag team.
Yeah.
But then ultimately Dominic has to turn on his dad, right?
I think so.
At some point. Like if they do get the titles, because they were hyping that up. They were hyping that up. So I mean that has to happen just to tick that box. But then once that's done, oh my God. If they don't have Dominic, just get rid of his dad. Oh my God. Well, I'm sorry. If they don't have him get rid of Ray, because we all know who Dominic's real dad is. I mean, it was decided in a ladder match.
Yeah. And God got rid of Dominic's real dad years ago. So.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So quickly moving on here. Cruz and Big E again and again and again and again and again. So hopefully Backlash, WrestleMania, whatever the fuck they're calling it, is the end of that shit. Did Aziz just make Sammy a face?
I hope not.
Yeah,
I genuinely hope not.
I was baffled. So I was baffled. Especially because it looked like, hey man, maybe you add Sammy to this mix a little bit, and maybe that adds a militant faction, but I have no fucking clue now who the faces are, who the heels are. I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for. I'm going to root for Sammy, just based off of the fact that he's entertaining. So I guess he's a face. I don't know. That's really one of my pet peeves is just this gray line shit. Paul Heyman using the yes promo.
Yeah.
Good God. This one, shout out for old Simon Street here. It's a fashion alert. Baron Corbin, what the fuck was he wearing a Hawaiian short and a Godfather pimp hat for? Jesus Christ. He's King Corbin, and now apparently he's like a fucking Miami tourist or something.
Yeah.
Steve, does AEW want him because they can take him?
Speaking on behalf of the AEW delegation, we will humbly decline.
Roman's entrance, man.
Yes.
Just simplistic, fucking beautiful. The music, the no shirt and the strap over the shoulder, and just damn, man, it just makes you feel something for that character when he walks out. It's not just a guy going down to it. Fucking was intense, man. And this is, we'll talk free count that you guys listening can catch on Tuesday, but anyone watching now, you can catch a little later. We'll talk a little bit about the some aspect of entrances and stuff about feeling something about people. But so I know that they pump shit in with the crowd reactions, but pumping in "you suck" when you have an Uso as part of it, I didn't know if they were rooting for Roman or if they were saying he sucks or if WWE just needs to fucking stop this canned shit. But my biggest problem in the whole fucking thing was Fox needs to do picture-in-picture with the biggest goddamn match of the show.
Yep.
It was so good. The psychology, the storytelling, the choking out. So they kept Brian protected in terms of having him come back, in the future and stuff. He doesn't look weak. It was just such a great match, except for 3 fucking commercial breaks.
Right.
And, you had Roman spear the fucking guard wall, and they went right into a fucking commercial.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And by the way, it's taken me over a year now to realize this question. Can you guys tell me why they're still using guardrails when there's no fans to guard?
So that they can hide the crash pads behind the guardrails.
Yes.
That's why.
I mean, it would be, I would understand it if there were TVs right there, but, and knowing some of the WWE fans, actually, I think getting rid of guardrails would kind of be an improvement to take out some of those assholes. And now we get to the thing you said, D. I hate when fucking run-in music plays, right? Why the fuck did they play run-in music for Cesaro? Why? Because how does the sound guy know Cesaro's coming out right then? Uso did not get the sound, right? He comes out of nowhere. That was beautiful.
Right.
Cesaro, why? We don't need to know it's... I would hope by now that the audience realizes that the guy running down to the ring is Cesaro. If you don't, you have a problem.
Yeah.
So get rid of that shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Overall, decent show. I mean, always, it's better than Raw, and
Yes.
it has something to do with only being 2 hours, and also something to do with better character development. Almost everyone on that show, to me, just you look at their performances, you can't go, oh, this wasn't worth watching this person or that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally true. Yeah, I mean, since they've kind of, gone into the I guess you could say more of a sports type of a feel, which was the directive that Fox wanted initially for SmackDown. Since they've kind of committed to go down that path, I think that we've noticed that SmackDown's quality has gone through the roof. So I just hope that everybody's taking note. And if only they could make their 3-hour show as good as either of their 2-hour shows, then that would be great.
Yeah.
Another thing they're doing with SmackDown that was kind of nice is playing that atmospheric music behind some of those videotaped promos. Very smart. Instead of just having the basic shit. But my final thought on the show is this. Aleister Black, what the fuck? Anyone.
They still don't know what the fuck to do with him, bro. He was trapped in a room for so many months waiting for people to come pick a fight with him. Now he's trapped in a room reading nursery rhymes.
Seriously, man. You know what? I would love if they would just do this. Go back, have the old entrance start to happen, but have it where the coffin is not coming up, to have him like actually in a coffin, and then he was just locked in there for the past 3 years. And oh shit, he comes out of it. Now he's Aleister Black again. Kind of the old TV, thing where Bob Newhart wakes up in bed and it's just a dream, or fucking St. Elsewhere happened where it's a fucking autistic kid's globe. And I think that autistic kid's globe is actually a metaphor for Aleister Black's character right now.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go, man. We thank you for your honesty, Matt Michael. Seriously. We're gonna move right on as we get close to the end. Sin City, we gotta talk a little bit about New Japan here.
Oh yeah.
First off, it's been announced that the IWGP United States champion Jon Moxley and Yuji Nagata will face off in a tag team on next week edition of New Japan Strong, man. What's your take on this?
I think it's awesome. Seeing Yuji Nagata, and so obviously that's leading into what's going to take place on Dynamite, where on Dynamite next week, in addition to Blood and Guts, in addition to Cody versus QT Marshall, we're going to get an IWGP United States Championship match occurring on an AEW program when Jon Moxley puts that gold on the line against Yuji Nagata. And I think it's really cool to see, man. It's really cool to see Yuji Nagata and Jon Moxley kind of getting into it. Nagata was somebody that I really enjoyed watching back in the dying days of WCW. And for him to, still have the wherewithal to be able to go in the ring. If you haven't seen him wrestle lately, you prepare to be amazed that someone of his age can do the things that he can do in the ring. So I think it's just a testament to him and, him being able to preserve himself long enough to where he's still bringing it and he's still putting in the work. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Jon Moxley on New Japan Strong in that tag match. And also obviously defending that US title next week on Dynamite.
Yeah, absolutely. something to look forward to. Another thing to mention is that if you got a chance to watch Impact, they did run a video announcing El Phantasmo that will be on Impact Wrestling debut next Thursday. So tell me a little bit about, I know he's part of the member of the Bullet Club, but what can we expect to see? And especially myself who watch Impact all the week, what am I going to enjoy from El Phantasmo?
So Phantasmo is he's a stellar cruiserweight, junior heavyweight, whatever kind of terminology that you want to use. He has won the Super J Cup a couple of times in New Japan. So he's not just some fly-by-night guy who just happened to burst on the scene. So, I mean, he started off in Canada, went to the UK, and he's really developed into his own as a member of the Bullet Club. Now with New Japan, he's held the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles with Taiji Ishimori, and that happened right before the pandemic hit. So El Phantasmo was making a ton of momentum and really making a name for himself before everything just kind of, had the brakes slammed on it. So something that you'll be looking for is high impact offense. He loves hitting super kicks. He brings it, man. He's a hell of a worker and definitely a great member of the Bullet Club. And that's awesome, man. And I love all of the forbidden door stuff that's been going on between, El Phantasmo and Finn Juice. One other thing of note, something that might stand out for you as well, Impact, is that Black Taurus is now a champion in AAA. I don't know if you saw this or not. But yeah, he's just recently, as part of their latest show, he is the AAA Latin American champion now. So maybe we might see the AAA Latin American Championship showing up on Impact, maybe?
Yeah, I see. On this past week, I saw him because at the beginning of the show, Scott D'Amore had all the wrestlers come to the ring, and he was there, but I didn't see him with a title, or at least can go back and watch it and see but I didn't recall seeing him, walking out with a belt of sorts, but. That would be nice if they would. That's
because that literally just happened yesterday.
Oh, well, I wouldn't then.
So look for that next week.
Right. Okay. But that would be cool if they allow that. That they should. I mean, if Kenny's doing all that, why not let him?
Well, and you also got to keep your eyes peeled because I've been seeing buzz that El Generico is going to show up in Impact. So.
El Generico, I think that people realize that he didn't just quit pro wrestling. He went to go help out those less fortunate, the children, man. That's what he was all about. He was always about helping the kids, and it's good to see that he's going to be coming back.
No, that was Heath Slater.
Oh my God.
Well played, Michaels.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, look, that is our wrestling talk for the show. We thank you for hanging out with us. And if you was in the chat, thank you for hanging out with us. Shout out to Jade and Chris and Shant. And just thank you all for just kind of hanging with us. You can hang with us too every Sunday, somewhere 8-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We jump on. You're in the East Coast. I know it's probably a little late, but that's why we got the podcast. When you wake up in the morning, you get a chance to at least hear it. All right. And you're definitely going to want to listen to 3 Count, which we're going to be recording in a second live, but it will be available for download this Tuesday. The topics are really great. I know you're going to really, really enjoy it. And we thank you all for listening. And we'll see you next week with more wrestling talk. All right. So with that,